Thanks for joining us for the 10 TV Plus Chasing the Championship special. I'm Nicole Sharon here in the 10 TV studio in Columbus. Dom Tiberi and Adam King are down in Atlanta right now, as they've been for the past 3 days, talking to current and former coaches and players. They're joined now by some former Ohio State players. Let's kick things off with our very own Adam King. He is joined live by the one and only Cardale Jones. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Nicole. Yeah, the last man to play quarterback when the Buckeyes won a national title. Cardale, can you believe it's been 10 years?
Oh, my God. This will be the unbelievable 10-year anniversary and a 10-year anniversary gift to that class of winning a national title if the Buckeyes can pull it off tonight.
You've been in those shoes. The pressure of being the quarterback in a national championship game, what's that like?
It's unbelievable, but it's something that these guys prepare for, something that I prepared for when my time was there. And I have all the faith in Will Howard and Ryan Day to get this thing done. They're playing a great team, but the Buckeyes have been playing unbelievable the last 3 weeks in the playoffs.
We all saw this roster come together last January. What's it like to now see it get ready to take the field in Atlanta?
It's pretty cool. I mean, all the work the foundation has done and the Ohio State recruiting staff has done to put these right pieces in places to get us to this point. It's what we envisioned last year after that loss to Missouri in the Cotton Bowl, and to kind of see it full circle 12 months later is, we couldn't hope for a better story ending.
What does it take to win a national championship when you actually get on that field? I mean, obviously there can be all the lead up, but to go out there and play and do it, what's it going to take from this team?
I mean, it's such a cliche to say who wanted more. I think a team that's prepared the most and going to capitalize on all those situations is going to ultimately win the game. Notre Dame's a great team, and they've been playing well ever since they lost to NIU earlier on in the season. Marcus Freeman's a great coach, but then you look on the other side of the ball with things that Ryan Day and Will Howard and his Buckeye offense and defense have been able to do. This is no better matchup for a national title than these two teams right here.
All right, he is Cardale Jones. Let's get your prediction here. What happens tonight? The Buckeyes national champions again?
National champions, I got 34-17 with the Buckeyes having a similar ending as they did versus Texas with a late defensive score to seal the game.
All right, he is Cardale Jones. We're going to go inside Mercedes-Benz where Dom Tiberi is joined by Bobby Carpenter.
All right, Adam, thank you very much. Bobby, we just heard from Cardale Jones. He was the quarterback in 2014, 10 years ago when the Buckeyes won the national title. By the way, that was the first multi-team playoff, 4-team playoff. You were on the 2002 national championship. What kind of feelings do you get, and what kind of memories does this bring back? We're here. It's very real tonight, and we're talking about two of the biggest programs in America.
I mean, this is what you play for. Like, when you come to Ohio State, these are the games that you envision, getting a chance to play for it all, play for the ultimate title. And so my freshman year we got there, that was all you knew. You were just along for the ride, and it was an absolutely unbelievable experience. But knowing 20 years later what that game meant, how it impacted my life, how it impacted the relationship with my teammates, because now that is that connectivity that kind of bonds you now for the rest of your life, and you always have that no matter what is going on. It's a very, very special process, and them getting to play Notre Dame today and just how big of a game this is going to be, the connection between the schools. A lot of Notre Dame guys are from the state of Ohio. I think there's 61 Ohio high school players playing in this game on both sides. So it's a pretty remarkable and pretty special event.
You know, you think about your journey in 2002, you think about what happened in 2014, and you think about the great coaches. You think about Jim Tressel. We saw him earlier. We're going to be hearing from him later. You think about Urban Meyer. We're going to hear from him later. This is Ryan Day's chance at his legacy. How important is this for him?
Oh, this is huge. I mean, he got here and he's answered the bell. I mean, he and the team, like, and you see the relationship that those guys have with them, but they answer the bell after Michigan. You see Tennessee, then you see Oregon, then you see Texas, and now you're to that final hurdle where you have a chance to hoist it. And he would be the third active coach in college football to win a national championship. Everybody else is gone. It's only Dabo and Kirby left. So it would be a huge addition to obviously his very decorated resume. Would be very, very big for him. But you mentioned all those games, Dom, and what's interesting about it is Ohio State in the big games, they've always been the underdog. The ones where maybe they weren't as successful, you look at those 06 Florida, 07 LSU, like those teams were favored. And so being favored in this, I always have a little bit of an uneasy feeling because I feel like Buckeye Nation does a little bit better when your back's against the wall.
You know, you're a kid that grew up in Ohio, just down the road from Ohio Stadium. You know how tough it is to coach here at Ohio State. Your dad was a high school coach. He played college football, pro football. You played pro football. But at Ohio State, it's one of the toughest places to be. A little over a month ago, everyone was down on the Buckeyes. It was pretty visceral what Ryan Day was putting up with. You and I, though, have been on the record. This guy's a great coach, and you root for him, and you hope he closes the deal tonight.
He's the winningest active coach currently in college football by win percentage. Unbelievable. Second all-time to Newt Rockne right now. So, yes, he's gotten it done. He's gotten it done in a big way. He's been to championships against Alabama. He's won games in the college football playoff even prior to this year. And so for him, like, this is the last piece. And you don't want to say it justifies him as a good coach. I know he's a good coach. You know he's a good coach. He's one of the best guys you're going to find out there. But having this, it kind of maybe validates it to maybe some of the naysayers in Buckeye Nation and then on a national level as well.
You know, the other thing too, Bobby, you have the ear of the players, and they're the guys that matter, and they love Ryan Day.
I always talk about leadership. You want to judge a leader? Go talk to the people that work with them, that work around them, that work below them. All of these guys, to a man, love Ryan Day. And I think some of the criticism that he received kind of galvanized this team, because none of these players wanted to see a guy that they love, that they respect, that they know does a great job, get beat up and watch his family, take some lumps as well. And so I think that kind of galvanized it. You've seen this connection. I'm praying they get the job done tonight, because you're going to really get to see an outpouring of emotion from these players.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. You know, we've heard from the leaders, guys like Jack Sawyer and those type guys. You know, Coach Day, as I said, Bobby and I are big fans of him. We're around him all the time. We know what he does when it comes to this. He's had his fair share of ups and downs, but mainly ups when it comes to this playoff run. And now he's just one win away from bringing home the pinnacle, the national title. I had a chance to talk to Coach Day about this huge opportunity. You know, Coach, I go back to the beginning. You talked all along how much you love this team and how much you love these guys. And when this playoff started, it was all about, let's get to the next week. Let's get to the next week. There are no weeks after this, and someone's going to leave with the national title. Why not the Buckeyes?
Yeah, right. Well, I think as a leader, it's your job to look out on the horizon and see what's coming. You know, the soldiers are on the front line, and they're fighting the battle every day. But, when you saw this 16-game possibility or 17-game possibility in the long season, you know what's coming. And that's our job as coaches, to make sure we look out in front and figure out what's coming. And we've been working really hard, but now it's time to finish the job. And we had some great fans sending us off in Columbus just the other day, and we know all across the country there's great fans that are pulling for our guys, and we'll need all those Buckeyes in the stadium as well. Everybody counts. We need it all, and we want to bring this thing home for everybody.
Yeah, you've been talking about the fans since this playoff started, and you told me the other day you guys love the fans.
Yeah, oh yeah, we do, and we want to cement ourselves in Buckeye history. I mean, that's what these guys want to do. 9th team to win the national championship, 3rd in over 50 years. There are a lot of great teams that have played at Ohio State. We have a chance to separate ourselves, and that's what our guys are focused on right now. And there's a lot that comes with this game, but the good news for us is these playoffs allowed us to get in a routine. We've continued to work on that routine, and we're playing for ourselves. We're playing for the program. We're playing for the school. We're also playing for all the fans throughout the country.
You have been here before. This is the second national title you'll play for. Did you learn anything? Is there any carryover from the first time?
That first one was just different with COVID and all that, but you learned a lot, and going up against a great coach in Nick Saban, which he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, or will be, just like Coach Meyer, which congratulations to both of them. And this stuff's hard, you know what I mean? And just see coaches like that and the way they operated. I had an opportunity to see how Coach Meyer operated, and got a chance to go against Coach Saban and learn about, kind of how he went about that, and stay with touch with him a little bit. And you just learn every time you go through it. That game was very, very unique for a lot of reasons. But every time you play in these games, you learn. You learn more and more. But ultimately, nothing that's happened in the past matters. Nothing that happens moving forward. It's all about how we play in this game and how we execute. And I think you can talk about the two great programs in Ohio State and Notre Dame, and start talking about traditions and get involved with a lot of conversation. But ultimately, what matters is what's on the field.
Last two things. You look at your guys, and you got the pulse. What's the mood of this club? What are you seeing with them?
Just focus right now and avoiding all distractions, keeping it just tight in here, and we make this make this the Woody right here. That's how it goes. Every time we've gone into a different place, it happened in L.A., happened in Texas, and now it's happened here in Atlanta. This is kind of our headquarters. We set up shop, get a feel for what the area is, and then we go play. And that's kind of what's going on right now. A lot of work. There's only so much energy you have, and so you got to make sure it's focused in the right spot, and that's all about playing right now.
I don't have to tell you, there's no bigger stage than this, and we've talked in the past. These are games where legends are made. We saw Jack Sawyer against Dallas. This is another chance for someone to become a legend.
Yeah, he absolutely, no question. But, we want this story to be told. We want to put that banner up. We want to have that ring. We want to be able to hoist a trophy and separate ourselves and cement ourselves in Ohio State history. That's it. So that's the goal. It's been like that all along. We want to make sure that we finish the mission, and that's it. It's not about how you start in life. It's how you finish.
Carpenter, sometimes we forget the Buckeyes. This is Ryan Day's second shot at a national title, lost to Alabama in 2020. And we just heard him there. As fickle as the fans can be in Columbus, Ohio, he loves them.
He loves them. The players love them. And Ohio may not have the best weather. It may not have the best pro sports teams, but they've got the Buckeyes and Buckeye Nation. And this is what it's all about.
He's Bobby Carpenter. We're just getting warmed up. You can hear the great Bobby Carpenter. Weekday, 6 a.m., 97.1 The Fan. There you have it, Miss Nicole. Things are starting to come to life here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm starting to get goosebumps. You know what I mean?
Oh, Dom, I have the goosebumps. I've had them all morning. It feels like Christmas Day. And like you said, we are just getting started. We've got plenty more coming up for you after the break.
Well, hello from Atlanta. We're going to take you inside one of the pregame tailgates here. And if this is any indication of what is to come, Well, we're gonna try to sneak in here. Evan, here you go. You jump in. Look at the craziness in here. There has to be 1,000 Buckeye fans, whether it be upstairs, downstairs. The Scarlet and Gray have taken over Atlanta here. It is quite remarkable. Here you can hear the chants. It's quite amazing. We're going to go back outside, though, because you can't hear anything else other than the chants. So we're going to go. I mean, if this is any indication, there may not be a Notre Dame fan inside of Mercedes-Benz today. Inside of Mercedes-Benz, there is going to be a football game, and that's what all these fans came to see. And one of the stars of that show will be Jack Sawyer. He is the Ohio native that has become, as so many call him, the Buckeye. He personifies everything that it means to play for Ohio State. Growing up in Pickerington, everything about this game is what he dreamed of as a young kid. I had a chance to talk to Jack one-on-one.
I love that picture.
The pictures look a little different.
It couldn't happen to a better kid.
The trophies are bigger now.
The dream actually came true for him.
But through it all, one thing hasn't changed. That heart of a Buckeye.
Man, your son is just
He's having a year.
With just a walk around Pickerington North, you'll notice his impact.
There he is.
Oh,
And while Jack Sawyer appears on many walls for the Panthers,
That was before they played.
this one shares his whole story.
These were used. That was like a family day.
Pictures everywhere showcasing his career in Scarlet.
Oh, they're like family.
A hometown kid that always wanted to be a Buckeye.
Something to be in the shadow of Ohio State your whole life, and then you end up, you think you're going to go there as a kid, but all little kids, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go to Ohio State, and I'm going to play football.
Now a captain and star.
I've loved this program since I was a little kid, and playing here has been nothing short of a dream for me. So, hopefully I'm able to bring a national championship home one day.
For Jack's mom, Michelle, she sees that hometown impact every day.
Coming out here to work camp and coming back to here and playing in practice or watching practice. He loves kids, and he always says that, that kid was me once, so I understand.
He's always been the center point of this Buckeye team, the first ever recruit for Ryan Day.
This is somebody who grew up in Columbus, who has always wanted to be a Buckeye, who's always wanted for a moment like this. So to see him get the moment that he had today, and he's become like family to me. He has.
And that lifetime of work all culminated in 11 seconds down in Dallas.
And I thought, run, run, run.
A play that's watched on repeat for Buckeye fans.
I've watched this. I see Simon, I see Hancock, I see Sonny, I see JT, all the way with him. And Buddy Sonny was like, nobody's getting by me. That's my favorite part. Watching his brothers run down there with him. Yeah.
A moment for that hometown kid to become something so much bigger.
How you legacy become a legend? You just became a legend, bro.
He called the next day, and it was so cute because he was still as excited that 2 o'clock the next afternoon as he was that night.
It's a play that will last a lifetime. But now Jack prepares for his final game as a Buckeye.
I just thank God I was able to make a play to help my team, advance to the national championship where we're here at right now with the opportunity of a lifetime. So, obviously it was a great play. I'm thankful I was able to make it, but we got bigger fish to fry Monday.
And while the Mohawk is gone and he no longer wears 23, the man taking the field Monday in Atlanta is still that kid with the heart of a Buckeye and a dream of a national title.
It couldn't happen to a better kid, but like you said, how hard he has worked, his heart and soul. He bleeds scarlet and gray. The kid is Buckeye through and through.
Yes, he certainly does bleed scarlet and gray. We have all seen that from Jack Sawyer throughout his entire career. You can hear the OH chants. They have not stopped. I've got to say, people have asked me this whole week, what is the ratio of Buckeye to Notre Dame fans? It is a lot of scarlet down here in Atlanta. There is one Notre Dame fan that has made his way outside the team hotel, or outside the team tailgate here. So we'll see how he meshes in here.
Adam, it's like, where's Waldo out there? I see the one guy in green, the one guy in green. There he is. All right, Adam, I want to get back to something that Jack's mom had said in your story. She said Sonny, JT, Jordan Hancock, all of his guys running the length of that field right behind Jack. I mean, I think that shows everything about this team this season. Just talk more about that brotherhood and what a win tonight would not only mean to these guys, but to Jack especially.
You know, the one thing that's crazy to think about is JT hurt his ankle in that game, and yet he still went the length of the field with Jack to celebrate, because that's just how close this team is. These guys have known each other since they were little kids. So many of them, Lorenzo, Sonny, Jack, the Pickerington guys, Ty, they all played together in Little League, and now they have a chance on the biggest stage to try to be national champions. It's kind of corny how often we've talked about the story of this team, but it's also quite bizarre because it is one of the greatest stories in college football history. These guys coming into this season didn't really have anything to show for it. There wasn't anything to kind of hang on the mantle and show their families or you know, celebrate with their teams for a reunion in 10 years. But a win tonight would change all of that. It would give them all their ultimate dream, the reason that they signed up to be a Buckeye. I think back to when guys like JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer committed, and it was the peak recruiting moment for Ohio State. They had one of the best classes in their history. This was always the course. This was always the plan for those guys.
Well, and Adam, you just said it, for a lot of these guys, it is their final time in the Scarlet and Gray. And Ryan, they talked about reflecting. Could you feel those emotions this weekend being around the guys?
I think you can feel the emotions a little bit, but I also think I don't know if lucky is the right word, but they're lucky that they don't have to think about that right now because they're so focused on the national title. You know, if this was just a Rose Bowl or a normal Cotton Bowl like they played last year, I think that's a different story. You can reflect more, but they took a quick moment. But these guys aren't thinking about their last time playing a game. They're thinking about one thing, a national championship win, and then it's a celebration in Columbus for a lifetime.
Well, Adam, thank you so much. Get back on in there with those fans. Let's hear some more OHs out there.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of OHs.
Love it. Love
there you
it.
go.
Well, like I said earlier, we have got plenty more coming your way, so stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Bill turned Ohio Stadium into a boogie wonderland.
Welcome back to 10 TV Plus, chasing the championship special as the Buckeyes pursue a national title. For the teams in Atlanta, it's still business, but for the fans, there's a lot of fun to be had at championship headquarters. Dom and Adam got a taste of FanFest with a little friendly competition.
Welcome to the 2025 FanFest. This is all I've heard Adam talk about. You're like a kid at Disney World.
I just want to have some fun, Dom, and the lines are so short.
Yeah, it's all fun and games till someone injures themselves. You're going to help him?
I'm going to help him.
He needs a lot of help.
I can tell that right away.
All right, Adam King for the win. Adam King, what in the world was that? Terrible. Can I try? I don't often kick field goals, but when I do, I have a suit on and a microphone in hand. Here we go. Here we go. Yep, here we go. Yep. I kicked it to him. It was a little better.
You were closer than me. I have a problem.
That's all I got to say. I'm done. What are we doing?
What do you mean? What do you throw it through the tire?
Throw it through the tire?
You're going down.
Did I beat him?
It didn't look fair and square to me.
I beat him. I beat him. I've done some ridiculous things in my days, but what are you, 5 years old? Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. What is your name?
My name is Michael Ward. I'm originally from Westerville, Ohio. Moved down here. I'm here. I'm gonna beat this guy. What's your name?
Adam.
Adam. I'm gonna beat Adam right here.
Adam's talking stuff. Do you think you can beat him?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna smoke him. Yeah.
What do you think of your competition, Adam King?
I mean, he's not in the athletic wear right now. I don't know if he can. He might rip his pants. So might be.
Rip his pants?
That would be embarrassing for him on live TV. That would be embarrassing.
A lot of this is embarrassing. They are in their stances, and there they go. And Micah from Westerville taking on Adam King. And Micah from Westerville just smoked Adam King. They timed Adam with a sundial. Hey, can I take this home?
No.
You've heard of a bronking bull? I give you a bronking football. Wow, that was almost a half second. You want to do what?
Dom, I need to see that dance move again. Can you break it down for me? Was that a little nay-nay I saw in there, Dommy?
Just you taught me that, where you go down and you know, the problem is I go down, but it's hard getting back up, these old knees, you know. But yeah, I'm telling you, Adam was like he was at Disney World. I mean, he was all into that stuff. It was fun, but I had to show him, you know, I had to show him.
Dom, can we talk about how you looked way more athletic than Adam? Your field goal was way closer, and you had a suit on and a microphone in your hand.
I could have made it. I should have done the straight on, Luda-toe Groza type. That's the way I learned to kick. And I tried to just, you know, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. And I tried the Roman kick. I should have just done the straight on. And these shoes I have, they have steel in the toes. So it would have helped. It would have helped.
Well, Dom, I'm very proud of your dancing skills. I feel like you used a lot of my tips, so I'm very proud of you. Now let's get to where you are. You're inside Mercedes-Benz. What's kind of the atmosphere been like in Atlanta? I know we were in Dallas together. Is it different than the Cotton Bowl?
It is. It is different. It is different. You know, this is for all the marbles. And a matter of fact, I'm going to bring Stephanie in real quick. Stephanie Odie, 97.1, the fan who's down here. Nicole, our friend back there, just asked, is this different than the way it was in Dallas. What do you think? First of all, there's a lot more security, isn't there?
Yeah, you have to scan your credential getting into the field. That's something I've never experienced before. But we've been talking around the media crowd. I haven't seen a ton of Notre Dame reporters. They're talking about having a lot of fans out here for Notre Dame. Out in Dallas, it was a lot of Texas fans. That was clearly the case for the Longhorns being out in Dallas. But the biggest difference I've seen is it's lopsided with the Buckeyes.
97-1, you'll be doing what for them today?
We got your social covered. Bobby has had a show on earlier today. We also have our play-by-play guys out there, and then just make sure you guys are following all of our socials. We'll put our interviews up. We'll have everything from the field. We'll have you guys covered with anything behind the scenes as well.
I mean it, folks. We say it all the time, but we are the biggest, and I'm telling you, 10 TV Plus, 97.1 The Fan. I mean, you have Stephanie, you have the one and only Bobby Carpenter, 6 a.m. Morning Juice. That show rocks. You've got Bo Bishop and Friends. I mean, 97.1, and they let me go on every once in a while. Why would? All right, handicap for us. How do you see it?
Oh, my Buckeye best bet is definitely the first quarter. Notre Dame, they went scoreless against Penn State, and both teams there. But also the Buckeyes have not allowed a single point in the first quarter throughout these playoffs. We know how that defense is, and so I definitely like them to cover the 2.5 in the first quarter. I've said they're always a second-half team, but take them to get out in a quick start in this one.
Stephanie Odie, 97.1 The Fan. Thank you. Check her out. Digital content will be rocking. You know, Nicole, there's a lot of Buckeye royalty here, no question about it. And, you know, earlier today I saw Jim Tressel, but also in town, the one and only Coach Urban Meyer. He won the national title in 2014. Coach is heading into the College Football Hall of Fame, which is here in Atlanta. I had a chance to talk to him about all things Buckeyes. All right, Coach, we are on the eve of the big game. You won 3 national titles. This is Ryan's second chance to win one. Break it down. What are the keys for Ryan Day at Ohio State?
You know, you look at the rosters right now, and I did a really thorough look at just covering Ohio State really all year. One of the best rosters I've ever seen. Every offensive and defensive skill guy I marked as guys will start in the NFL. I've never heard of that before. Then on the other side, you got not the same roster, but you got grit, you got toughness, you got guys that found, you know, when they beat Georgia, I mean, I think the whole country said, wait a minute, how'd that happen? So they're just really tough, rugged guys, and I think Ohio State's going to win. I think it's going to be a rugged first half because of the toughness of Notre Dame, but the skill sets at Ohio State are just too great.
This has been a gauntlet Ohio State's gone through. Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, now Notre Dame. In your mind, what changed since the loss to that team up north?
I'm anxious to find out. You know, if they win this game, I'm sure a book or something's going to come out. You probably know better than I do. I talk to Coach Day quite frequently, and I never really asked that question, but I was at that game in the stadium against the team up north, and then I was also there for Tennessee, and you're like, wait a minute, the emotion, the energy, and then the last 3 games have been phenomenal. So they are certainly peaked at the right time. They are maximized. They're healthy. You know, this is uncharted waters for college football history to play, I think it's game 16. You know, we played a 15, if I believe, in 2014, yeah. And I remember the wear and tear in their team's real, but they're peaking at the right time.
Let me ask you this. Sometimes we overanalyze things. Is it sometimes as simple, get the ball to your best players and maybe the passing games open up the running game?
I think ever since the Wolverine game, they've been playing to their strength, and their strength is not between the tackles. Their strength is on the edge, run game and pass game. And that's what they've done. And that's rule number 2. Number 1 is keep your players' health and safety. Number 2, get the ball in the hands of your best players, and that's what they've done.
As you look at X's and O's, the defense for Ohio State's been amazing. Most people think Notre Dame's only shot is to try to get long, sustained drives running the football.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening. You know, and they're just not a team that, you know, the only time that Ohio State was exposed defensively at all was Oregon. And I still think that had to do with the soft preseason schedule. They were shocked by the speed of Oregon. Then later on in the year against Oregon, then Texas, they weren't shocked anymore. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a rugged offensive, you know, for them to move the ball against this defense could be rugged.
You know, history could be made. In 2014, you won the first 4-team playoff. Here we are, the first 12-team playoff. We're on the edge. What do you think? A Buckeye again?
Oh, yeah, I think this is, number 9? This will be the 9th championship for Ohio State, and I think it's really cool for the country to see 2 teams from the North. You got Notre Dame and Ohio State. I'm a Notre Dame guy, too. I love Notre Dame, but this is going to be a great day for Ohio State.
Great day for Ohio State. We are joined once again by Bobby Carpenter. You hear him Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., Morning Juice. We just heard from Urban Meyer there, Bobby. First of all, he's pretty confident the Buckeyes are going to win. He thinks it's going to be the 9th national title in Ohio State history. Of course, they got to go out and win the game. I want to ask you, he won it in 2014. They were underdogs in that game with Alabama. No one thought they were going to win it. You think about 2006, 2007, Ohio State was a big favorite against Florida. They were favored over LSU. In 2002, you guys were huge underdogs. Again, the Buckeyes are huge favorites tonight against Notre Dame. Does that worry you?
You always get a little bit of an uneasy feeling. Ohio State, I feel like, has always done a great job. You hear Ryan talk about, Ohio against the world. And when you're the underdog, you feel like you always have this edge. However, I think this team, coming out of the Michigan game, no one really expected a whole lot. And so I think that underdog mentality has kind of permeated and rode with them through these other games. And now they're sitting here on the doorsteps. If you can't get motivated to go win a national championship, you're probably in the wrong business.
You look at what Urban just said, and I wanted to get your take. I asked him, I said, is it just as simple, what changed between the loss to Michigan and where we're at now? Is it as simple as just getting the ball to your best players? Is it as simple as using the passing game to open up the running game? He said clearly our strength is on the edge and not between the tackles. You agree with that?
I agree. The strength is definitely on the edge. You look at the players that you have on the perimeter. However, they did make some adjustments with Chip Kelly and Justin Fry adjusting that run game. And you have to remember, it's been a revolving door for offensive linemen. I was drawing up a little diagram of all the position shifts and everybody that had been hurt, Dom. And there's a lot of movement that had taken place. You finally have a group of guys that have now been playing together. They changed the scheme a little bit, get some double team stuff that Tress likes a lot. So I think that's helped open up that interior running game. And believe me, having J.J. Smith on the edge, that doesn't hurt either.
The other thing, too, and we've talked a lot about the offense, but I'm a firm believer, and I know you're a firm believer, defense wins championships. This Ohio State defense, if they can continue to play like they have the last 3 games, it could be a long night for the Irish moving the ball.
Well, you look at these last national championships that Ohio State's played in, they won some, lost some. And in 2002, our defensive line played really, really well against Miami, and we got pressure on Ken Dorsey, forced some turnovers. 06 and 07. LSU and Florida probably had the advantage on the defensive line and winning the trenches. You go back to 14, Ohio State beat up Alabama in the trenches, probably flipped a little bit in 20. And so this Ohio State team to be really good on the defensive line, you've watched how dominant those guys have been. That is the key to shutting down this Notre Dame run game and this Riley Leonard rushing attack. And so you're going to have Tyleik Williams, Ty Hamilton, JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, everybody else that they're rotating through. Those guys getting the stops and getting the push up front is going to be the key to me.
He is Bobby Carpenter, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Morning Juice, 97.1 The Fan. Be sure and check him out. We've got more with Bobby coming up in a little bit. And Nicole, I know you're a big fan of the nay-nay. That's where we were in the beginning. And I asked Bobby if he knew how to do the nay-nay, and he just gave me a look like he wanted to tackle me, and so I ended it right there.
Come on, Bobby, tell him to bust a move for me. Tell him to bust a move for me. Come on, Bobby.
No, Bobby don't play. Bobby don't play nay-nay.
All right, well, I got to bring this video back up, Dom, because it's too good not to watch again. I mean, slow-mo action, you've got the hip movement. I am so proud of you, Dommy. I feel like I taught you so well.
This man is not finding this humorous. This is Bobby Carpenter.
That is going to be the victory dance if the Buckeyes bring home that national title. Like Dom said, we have got plenty more coming up right after the break. We'll be right back.
When
joined by Will Howard. And Will, you're getting set to play in the national championship. This was always the dream when you came to Ohio State. What's it like for you to be here and be getting ready for this moment?
Yeah, man, I've been saying it's surreal. I got to pinch myself every day. I've said that really since I got here, though, man. So nothing's really a surprise to me anymore here at The Ohio State University, man. This is where we expected to be, and this is where we wanted to be. So, I'm blessed. I'm humbled, thankful to be here, but, like we keep saying, the job's not finished.
What is it that you see in this Notre Dame defense that jumps out to you? I mean, they're a top 2 defense in the country here.
I think that the thing that's so tough about them is how hard they play, and how much they're going to challenge you. Play in and play out. They don't take plays off, man. And I think that's one of the best compliments you can give another team is, man, those guys play hard. And I'd rather see a team that has all the talent in the world, but doesn't play hard than a team that and these guys have talent too. That's the thing. They got talent and they play hard. They play a little different than Texas did in terms of they're going to come up and challenge you and play a little more man. But I think we're going to have to go out there and play our best game. And I didn't expect to get to the national championship and have anything less than a huge challenge. So we're ready for it, man. We're excited, because this is a great team.
You're someone who uses a lot of different things for motivation. Do you listen to any of the outside noise about what people say to you to kind of drive you in a big moment like this?
I try not to, but it does seep in a little bit. Obviously, people say things, and it feels like I just keep getting. Nobody really wants to give me any credit, but I love that. Keep it coming, man. As much motivation as I can get, I'm going to take, and I love people challenging me and challenging this team because it keeps that chip on our shoulder and keeps that edge. And when we play like that, when we play like a little pissed off and have a little chip on our shoulder, I think that's good for us.
This year, the story for the Buckeyes has been redemption. After a couple tough losses, the team had to rise above hate after that loss at the end of the season. And while they were able to flip the script, it caused challenges for Ryan Day and his family. I had the chance to sit down and talk one-on-one with Nina Day about what their family learned from one of their darkest times.
Ryan and I just had to stay strong and stay steady and, kind of help each other get through it all. Even though some days it was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
51 days ago, the Buckeyes hit rock bottom.
And Michigan is going to come away from Columbus with a 13-10 victory.
His entire life, he's, fought through hard times and adversity, and he's been resilient. I've known him my whole life. After his dad died, there's many things that have happened in our lives that he's had to fight through, and this is just another example of him fighting himself out of a corner.
The game not only changed the course of the season.
I'm sorry, man. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be a Buckeye, and I'm sorry I couldn't get this one done.
When you lose this game, it is completely maddening and just frustrating and all the above.
But more importantly, it changed this family.
The weeks between the Team Up North game and the Tennessee game were brutal. And I was very upset about what was happening to some of our players, to my children. It just, it just wasn't right. I think Buckeye Nation is an amazing fan base. I really do. And with every fan base is that percentage that takes it too far.
Did you notice a shift at all?
I did. The morning after we lost to the team up north, there was just a different look in his eye. He got up and he just looked at me and he's like, I have no other choice but to fight my way out of this.
And with a new outlook on the season, Coach Day had 2 reasons to win. The brotherhood and his blood.
When you talk about family, first off, it's Nina and the kids. I've known Nina my whole life. She's been with me since we've been 6 years old, so we've been through a lot together. And when it comes, to great moments in life, you got to hug the people you love the most and enjoy them. And when you go through difficult times, you hang on the best you can to the ones you love, and you just, you keep pushing forward, you keep moving forward.
Before most games, you know, before Ryan leaves, he looks at the kids and I and says, no matter what happens, we'll always have each other. And if that's the worst thing at the end of the day, then things are going pretty good for us.
You talk about resilience and how Ryan really taught your kids how to handle adversity. Do you think that those moments brought this family even closer together at the end of the day?
I definitely think so. You know, my daughter said to Ryan after this last game, she's like, Dad, I never stopped believing in you, even when everybody else did. So, you know, it has brought us closer together because we've been fighting for the past month. So I'm just happy for Ryan and my kids that we got to feel, you know, some of this joy the last month.
But win or lose, it's all about family for the Days.
When you see Ryan fighting this way and these guys fighting this way, what does that just show about not only your husband, but this team in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said to Ryan, I think that the greatest thing for our family is that our children saw him fail. And they saw a lot of people come at their dad. They saw a lot of people attack him and attack our family. I think it was really, really wonderful to see my kids see him win these last 3 games. Because despite the negativity and despite the noise, you can overcome it.
And we're ready for the ultimate fight to regain our lost treasure, the Gold Buckeye.
One is in. Welcome back to 10 TV Plus, Chasing the Championship Special. In our last 10 minutes, we want to take a moment to look back at the rare but heated matchups between the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish, dating all the way back to the 1930s.
that Notre Dame game. Boy, it was unbelievable.
1935. That was the first time the Buckeyes and Fighting Irish faced off. The first of only 8, but each meeting full of history. The Wayne Milner game-winning touchdown November 2nd, 1935, leaving the Buckeyes heartbroken. The Irish get their final win over Ohio State that very next year. Then fast forward to September 30th, 1995. The picture-perfect moment. Eddie George escapes the Irish defense, 45-26 final, starting a 6-game streak for the Buckeyes. And they sweep the series in 1996 with a win in South Bend. Lou Holtz stepping down that same season. January 2nd, 2006 in the Fiesta Bowl.
We could have a good old-fashioned high-scoring shootout.
A Brady Quinn-Troy Smith quarterback duel under head coach Jim Tressel. 10 years later, the 2016 Fiesta Bowl, the only meeting between Brian Kelly and Urban Meyer in year 2 of the college football playoff. September 3rd, 2022.
Your brand new head football coach.
A top 5 primetime showdown. Marcus Freeman's first year as head coach up against his alma mater. 1 year later, a college football classic that all ended with a Chip Trayanum walk-off touchdown to win it. And now, January 20th, 2025. These two historic programs reunite on college football's biggest stage for the ultimate prize, a national title.
Well, as we wrap up our special, we want to hear from Coach Tressel, who I just mentioned led the team to victory in that 2006 Fiesta Bowl. This week, 10 TV's Dom Tiberi talked to him about that game and how much each program has changed since then.
As you look at the history between Ohio State and Notre Dame, obviously you played them in that Fiesta Bowl. What do you remember about that game? And it was a big win for your Buckeyes.
It was. I remember reading about the rivalry all the way back in the 30s, and there were some controversial games if you read back in the history, and then of course in the 90s, Coach Cooper beat him 2 times in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Eddie George had the 300 yards, and so I think the record at the time then when we played was 2-2, maybe something like that. We played them there in the Fiesta Bowl, and Charlie Weiss and Brady Quinn and that whole crew, and AJ and Troy and Santonio and Teddy and all those guys put on a show. It was a heck of a win.
Was it even more special because, I mean, you're talking about 2 of the bigger household names when you mention Ohio State and Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think everyone's paying attention when those 2 teams play, whether it's in September or in the first round of the playoffs or bowl game or now here in the national championship. You put those 2 teams together. In fact, we had a guy over doing some work at the house, and he said, well, I'm not really a college football fan. I'm an NFL guy. He said, but Ohio State and Notre Dame, I take notice.
Break it down for us as you look at this matchup. And Tress, this has been an amazing run ever since that loss to Michigan. Beating 7th ranked Tennessee, top ranked Oregon, 3rd ranked Texas, and now they get 5th ranked Notre Dame. This is unprecedented.
Well, I remember talking with Ryan way back during the season, and we were talking about how different the postseason is going to be. Being a tournament play, and the health of the team's going to be critical. The mindset of the team's going to be critical, and the knowledge that if you get in the tournament, you're probably going to have to beat 4 top 10 teams in a row. And so we've done 3 of them, and you have to be so proud of those kids. But I think both teams in this case have gone through some tough times. Notre Dame with that early loss to Northern Illinois, everyone had kind of given them up, off with their heads. We had the tough loss at the end. Everyone, was all mad at us. Both teams, you can tell, have great coaching staffs and great kids because they let those distractions go elsewhere, and they looked in the mirror and said, here's what we've got to do to get better, because we know we're capable. And to their credit, they've marched on, and I do think Ohio State's path has been pretty darn difficult. When you start talking about the teams we've played, Notre Dame having to beat Georgia, who I think was a little bit banged up, a little bit not quite Georgia. I wasn't sure how the Notre Dame Penn State game would go, because I have a lot of respect for Penn State and how good they are, and I know how tough they played us. And but there's two battle-tested teams coming in to find out who's number one.